Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode. In today's episode, we are going to be reviewing Chippewa Lake Slaughterhouse in Chippewa Lake, Ohio. If you haven't seen our reviews for this before, then you are in for a treat, and this is another video that we will be doing the giveaway for. Yes, if you're looking for one of the most intense haunted houses there is in all of Ohio, then you've come to the right place. So we hope you enjoy this episode of Haunt Talk. This is a place that we have been frequenting now for, I don't know, at least 6 years, I think. We go almost every year. A couple years ago, they introduced a touch pass, which this review will be, including the touch pass. So everything that we talk about is including that experience. Your experience may differ a little bit. Without it, we'll get into that more of the review. A little bit of backstory, if you somehow don't know and watch our channel, but maybe this is the first time you've seen the video, is it is in a real slaughterhouse. So you might think, oh, was it a slaughterhouse theme? Yeah, it's a slaughterhouse theme because it's in an actual slaughterhouse. So, yeah, it definitely has a unique benefit. I don't know of any other haunt that isn't a slaughterhouse. If you do, let me know. I don't actually know of one, and there might be one out there somewhere. But I mean, there's a lot of them in factories and hospitals and stuff like that. But I don't know another one that's in an old actual slaughterhouse.
I can't think of any. I
Yeah.
really can't. And if you want to know a little bit more about it, make sure you watch our Lights On tour because we do talk to Vaughn, who is the owner and kind of creator of Chippewa Lake Slaughterhouse. He talks a little bit more about the actual slaughterhouse when it was opened and stuff like that.
Right, and this is their first haunt. They have a second one, Nightmare Cleveland, which we have a review from that earlier, so make sure you check that out. But without further ado, it's time to get into the review, which means, as always, we must refer to the Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead! And just a quick reminder, again, as I said at the very beginning of the video, there is going to be a giveaway, so stick around to see that. But, as always, we're going to start with sets and props.
So again, this is a slaughterhouse theme. So pretty much you're going to have your blood and guts and gore and stuff like that. But what's unique about this one is that it's kind of like where the Karvers live. The Karvers are the family that run the Chippewa Slaughterhouse. And it's just so unique to see how they've gone beyond just your typical slaughterhouse theme.
Yeah. Not a lot has changed if you've been watching the last couple of years worth of reviews. There isn't any really, new scenes this year. One thing they did, and we're going to talk about this more in actors, but there is more mannequins.
Yes.
More dummy actors, if you will. And again, that kind of ties into both, but that was the most notable thing. At least I believe it seemed like there were more.
Yeah.
So we were actually discussing the fact that there wasn't many changes, and it's kind of like, I don't know what they could add or what they would change. Like, if I was the one that did this haunt, like if I made it, I don't know, because it's so kind of perfect for what it is. Maybe something in the outside section, they can maybe think of a scene out there, maybe. But like the inside, I just don't know, I don't know what I would change.
Yeah, because I mean, you've got various characters like living quarters, you've got offices, you've got, where they actually process the meat, things like that. And so it's like, what else do we really want to know about the Karvers?
See, I'm really curious, where they go from here, what they might add on. There's a lot of really cool scenes, though, and they've kind of backed off a little bit. There is a slight hint at possibly something supernatural going on here, but you can really feel the story as you walk through. They added a few years ago, the plane crash. Very early on in the haunt, it's kind of talked about, and if you haven't been there before, you're kind of like, what are they talking about? Like the the gift from the sky, or
a gift from above.
Yeah, a gift from above, and like someone says, by the time you get to the plane or something like this, and there's like these toxic waste barrels that like came from it and stuff.
Yeah.
So it really is like a full thought out story. Most people are going to be too scared to even like notice the story that's going on, but there is one there that has a beginning and an end, which I like. And each character has their kind of like own background story and stuff like that, which I really appreciate. And I really do, not just because it's our video, but for them, you should check out the Lights on Thor. And if you don't want spoilers, go to them first. However, again, it's nothing like the actual show. Like, it, believe me, it doesn't take anything away. But there are so many finite details in this place. And doing the Lights on Tour and getting to walk around it and stuff like that and seeing this stuff is super cool. And next September, I forget the exact dates, but they are going to be doing a like festival situation where you actually can get like some kind of Lights on Tour.
Yeah. There's
not a ton of details yet, but it has been officially announced. They have like a poster for it on the gift shop as you're leaving. But again, yeah, there's nothing more realistic than this place, you know. If it's your favorite themed haunt, it's going to kind of depend on what you personally like, but I would find someone to have a hard time arguing if there's another haunt out there that feels more realistic. Because again, they don't use animatronics really here. Maybe like a couple, not even really. Like, they of course use props, like dead corpses, but they all look so realistic. All the props that are there, so there's no like ooga booga jump scares of like animatronics. I mean, like flying out at you and stuff like that. There's no like weird monsters, no puppets, which just adds to the experience because everything you see feels like it's from a horror movie.
Yeah.
And it creates this atmosphere that I have not yet found a haunted house that has. That's probably all more we're going to talk really on sets and props. If you want to see us go in detail about it, you can check out one of our many reviews or the documentary. But again, just know it's extremely immersive and very realistic. We give it a 10 because again, it blends the lines of reality and like fantasy into the point where you can't tell if it was something that was left over from when it was a slaughterhouse, if it's something that they made. And the crazy thing is, almost all of it is something that they made or repurposed. It's really impressive.
So that moves us on to actors. There's a lot of actors in this place.
Yeah, and we essentially went on opening night. Not essentially, we did.
Yeah, it was opening night.
Yeah, now they had opened like on Friday the 13th for like a one night special event type of thing. But then this was their first official night of the season though.
Yeah. And it was like we were just getting bombarded, and there was just so many. It was just incredible. Josh mentioned it before, but they do have a lot of mannequins, which actually kind of help with the actors because you really don't know who's real and who's not.
You really don't. And we've mentioned this in reviews before, but again, it seemed like they added more. Maybe I'm imagining things, but I'm pretty sure there was even more this year.
Yeah.
And you'll walk by one and they didn't move an inch and you're like, okay, so that was an actual mannequin. Maybe this one up there's a person. All of a sudden that thing that you thought was a mannequin is now just following you. Maybe scraping a weapon across the floor and you hear it turn around and he's just there. And that's the crazy thing too, is it's not all just running out and jump scares. That does happen, believe me.
Yeah.
But some of it's just the eeriness of their presence. And again, that brings us into the touch pass. You know, they might just be slowly walking and then all of a sudden now they're like, you know, grabbing you and like they have you by the back of the neck and stuff like that. We had some this is definitely one of the most intense walkthroughs of this place we've had.
Yes.
It's always pretty intense, but this one was pretty wild. They got us pretty good, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. I have a little bruise. Which, I mean, I bruise like a peach, but it was really like they were really, really full force, and it just adds this extra element to it. Mind you, if you're not comfortable getting the touch pass, don't get the touch pass the first time you go. I would probably recommend not getting it
if you haven't done a touch pass before. I mean, yeah, because you're still going to get scared, even if
Yes.
you don't have the touch pass. You're just going to get the jump scares in that atmosphere. But that extra layer on top of what's already a really freaky haunted house, it's just one of the darkest haunted houses, too. And I don't mean, like, visibly. I just mean, like, it just feels like... And it almost sounds bad to say it, but some haunted houses, like Ghoul Brothers, they're, like, fun haunted houses. Where this one, like... Well, of course, it's fun if you like haunted houses. It's not a fun atmosphere. It's really spooky and just dark and creepy.
Gritty.
Grimy, yes. Grimy,
Yeah.
gritty.
Yeah.
Just really nasty and gross, and it's just, it really makes you, when you leave this place, you're like, oof. But yeah, a couple standouts, of course. You get Grandma and Grandpa when you walk in. They always get us really good.
Yeah.
Of course, there's the pig mascot guy, which you get to see multiple times, and he's like probably the one character that's slight comic relief, because the way he moves and stuff, it's creepy, but it's also kind of comical, just how exaggerated he is. Like, he has this little sign that I think says, like, "Eat humans" on it. And he'll, like, lean against it and just kind of watch you with this giant plush pig mask. Like, it's like a cute pig.
Yeah.
But
he's,
funny.
like, dirty and bloody and gross, but he's adorable.
It works really well. Of course, you have the Black Widow, which actually, she always gets Kim's arm. But she actually kind of talked to her a little bit this time.
Yeah, she actually spoke to me this time, which I was, like, really surprised. Yeah, she said that she was going to use my hair on one of her dolls.
Yeah.
And then she also said that she appreciated the fact that I brought the boys with me.
Yeah, so it's us two and then our friend Isaac.
Yeah, so she was very happy that I brought the boys with me this time. So she was very nice, and she actually, she held my hand, and it was very graceful.
Yeah. There was one guy in, like, the lab scene who had, I guess it's kind of like a science experiment kind of scene.
Yeah.
He scared the crap out of us because he came running at us with, like, the biggest cleaver I've ever seen. And when you turn around, someone's just, like, running at you full force. Well, I mean, he's not going to, like, hurt you, but, like, with that touch pass, you're always just a little bit like, well, what are they going to do to me kind of thing. He really startled me, and him and another actress that were in there kind of followed us around and tormented us for a while.
They were manic. They were very manic,
Yeah,
their
energy was freaking me out.
Yeah, which kind of added to that whole, like, mad scientist kind of thing, and it just... It really brought you into that. Yeah. It was really cool.
Because and I think that the reason that they freaked us out so much is most of the actors, not all, but most of them are more of this, like, stoic, hulking, kind of slow, Michael Myers-esque, like, we might not be moving really fast, but we're going to kill you when we get to you type of, like, feeling. Another really funny one was, it was really wet the night we went, and this one guy, like, went to kind of scare Isaac, and it looked like he kind of slipped, and Isaac was like, "Oh, are you okay?" And then instantly whips around, spins Isaac around, and just picks him up and starts walking with him. And I just go, "Yeah, I think he's fine, Isaac." Isaac always gets taken.
Yeah,
he
really does.
Because he's, like, kind of smaller, and so, like, I feel like they just love to, like, pick him up and stuff.
Last year, his shoe was taken by the contortionist girl at this same place.
Yeah.
And he was willing to go through the haunt without his shoe, and we're like, no, we're like 5 minutes into this haunt. You get your freaking shoe back from her as she's crawling away with it. Another big standout person was, this was outside, actually, and it was kind of, like, a little wet and stuff like that. So, there's this scene where there's, like, two, like, trailers, kind of, and it's kind of like a little path where you're kind of, like, congested, and it's like, you're kind of like, oh, what's gonna happen? Something's gonna happen, and then he full force just runs at you with this chainsaw, and he just comes out of nowhere. Like, all of a sudden you just hear it, and you're like, oh no, because he's just coming at you.
He's running so fast with it at full force and swinging, and you really think he's just going to get you. Obviously they have practice and they're not, but since we had the touch pass, of course, we did get got with the chainsaw quite a bit. He really lets you have it. Last year, I got thrown up against the one camper, and he was just running up and down my back. He didn't throw me against the camper this year, but he, like, jabbed me in the leg with it, and the side, up and down my arm, and I'm like, oh my god. Oh, but no, then he grabbed me by the neck and started running with me. Because remember, he made me go in front.
That's right.
Yeah, he just kind of, like, chainsaw in this hand, and me in the other, just, like, pretty much, I'm like, all right, guys, get out of the way, here I come. It's just like, yeah. We could be here all day talking about all the standouts. One other one I will mention before we give the rating for this, because they scared the actual crap out of me, is usually in the plane there's someone that kind of bothers you throughout it. This year, like, we're walking, we're like, all right, no one must be in here. And all of a sudden, this guy just came out of nowhere in front of me and just grabbed me and started messing with me. Like, there's kind of like this wall of fog. Scared the living daylights out of me, because again, it was just like this silence where it's like we're used to like someone being in there kind of tormenting us, and it's just like, is there no one here? Did they call off tonight? And then it was like, there he was. Scared the crap out of me. But yeah, if you couldn't tell, obviously we absolutely loved the actors this year. Amazing as always. We gave them a 10. It's a good time, I think, to talk about our giveaway. So if you haven't seen any of the other videos that we've done giveaways on this year, I'm going to briefly tell you, basically how to enter. So all you have to do to win the tickets, and it's for 2 tickets, and if you win, I'll give you the details on how you redeem those, is you have to comment in the video saying, I want the tickets. You can say something else in the comment as well, but make sure you include the words, I want the tickets. And there's a link in the description of this video. You go and fill out a form. There's going to be a part that asks you for the video password, which is going to be Karver with a K 2024, and I'll have it typed out on the screen here as well. You just enter that, so that way I know you actually watched the video, and I know which one you're applying for, because I'm using the same form for multiple haunts. And again, do not enter the contest if you won't be able to attend. We're going to let the winners of the tickets know on the 11th of October. Now, we're also going to post it on Facebook and stuff like that, but I'm going to email you directly because the form will ask for your email. Just make sure you're checking your email and that kind of stuff. So you can respond to me, because if I don't hear back within like 24 hours or something, I'm going to have to go to the next person to make sure someone gets these tickets so they are able to use it. So yeah, pretty simple stuff, pretty self-explanatory. Yep. So that's pretty much all you need to know for the giveaway. So good luck there. But yeah, now we'll get back into the review, which moves us on to Scare Factor. Super scary, super wow. Yeah. I mean, all the things we said before. Yeah. Very aggressive. Like I said, the touch pass is a must. The touch pass is a must if you are looking for that like extra element. Again, still amazing and super scary if you don't get the touch pass, but I really think it heightens the experience. There's not a ton around here that do the touch pass good, since the sister haunt to this place, Nightmare Cleveland, doesn't do it anymore. It's basically this and Blood Prison. Well, Haunted Hoochie kind of, but to the level that they do the touch pass, these are like really the only 2 in the area that have a touch thing like this. So if you're looking for that, this is absolutely one of the best around. Said very in your face, very aggressive. Yeah, Scare Factor is obviously a 10. If you don't do the touch pass, I'd still say it's really high up there, probably a 9.5 or like a 9.75 probably without the touch pass, because again, the jump scares and that element of atmosphere is still there. But with a touch pass, if we could wait till 11, it'd probably be 11. But yeah. So that brings us to value. It is $30 to $32, so it just has like a small fluctuation. I think 32 is like Saturdays and 30 is the Fridays. VIP is 13 more, so if it's a busy night, I would get that. We typically haven't had to wait too much. We also tend to go to this one early in the season, since it's one of our favorites, and this year we were trying to get all the ones that we did the documentary done sooner. The only one that we're having to wait a little bit later to is Blood Prison, because of opening dates and the distance away that one is from us, but we will be going there. It is also $10 upcharge for touch pass, and it took us 25 minutes to go through, which I feel is the perfect length for the haunt.
Yes. Yeah, because especially with the touch pass, it's like once you're done, you're like, thank God it's over.
yeah, in a good way, right?
In a good way. Yeah, you're like, okay, that's enough of that. But it's definitely a good length for, what you're paying for, because it's almost like a $1 a minute.
Yeah, right around there. Yeah, I mean, the quality there is high. So I mean, realistically, if you're doing what we are saying you should do before online fees and all of that stuff, which I never include that, but it's always a thing. If you're getting the touch pass, you're paying $40 to $42, which is a little expensive, but for the quality and the length of the haunt, we think it's still excellent value. So value is a 9.
And that brings us to our overall score, which is a 10.
Yeah, it's a must. Like, again, it's hard not to give it a 10, because as we were saying, even when we were talking about the sets and props, is I can't think of something I would necessarily change. Like, is it perfect? Probably not. What is perfect? Nothing is really perfect. I mean, again, all reviews are subjective, but like if I can't think of anything I would change, I thought there was plenty of actors. I thought every single actor we encountered was good. Like, there's nothing really that I would improve upon on this haunt. The only thing I would say is might be nice for them to change things once in a while, just for people that do go every year, but they don't even really need to, because this is like my favorite haunt to bring people to as well. Like people that like haven't went to this before. I love going to it. I love going with them for their first time here and like getting their reactions to it. It's really awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely must see. I wish more people did know about it. But it's definitely popular, but I don't hear about it as much as I feel like I should.
Yeah.
And that was one of the main reasons. Like, this place was one of the main reasons we did this documentary, because we tried to focus on a lot of ones that were amazing, but maybe not publicly known in the level we feel they should be.
Right.
So yeah, also make sure, again, check out that behind the scenes documentary we did, that 6-part series. But yeah, make sure you're liking, make sure you're subscribing, and make sure you're ringing the notification bell so you don't miss any more upcoming videos, because we will have many more reviews and more giveaways as well. So there should be like 5 reviews this week if you're watching it when it actually goes live.
Wow.
So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.